We all know the feeling of falling off the wagon, and I do mean all of us. Everybody was a kid at some point, so at the very least, if you think you're a beginner, quote unquote, you have fallen off from what you did as a kid. Everybody was a squatting, running, laughing, falling to the ground, getting back up, sprinting kid. So even if you weren't even a high school or collegiate athlete, whatever, you were a kid at some point that was doing all this movement, and now you're not. Okay. So I'm going to give my own fall off the wagon story, and that involved Firehouse subs. It had to be a large Firehouse sub, a combo, of course, a full pint of ice cream, and playing a bunch of Dota 2 at night. And me just saying that was dinner. And all of that was about, I think, 3,000 calories in one sitting. Pretty dark place in my life. And I didn't even own a scale. So I was at least 20 pounds heavier than I am now. So, how do we even get to that point? How does that all happen? And I think there are two ways to get out of that rut situation, one of which is addressing your habits, and the other is when you get back into it, just treat yourself like a beginner. All right. So let's look at two examples. One person works out at 5 in the morning, okay, or wakes up at 5 to work out. That's not just they work out. They wake up at 5 a.m. They have to know what they're doing. They have to have a reason what they're doing. They have to have a gym at their house or know where they're going for the gym. They have to have their workout clothes ready. They have to have a pre/post workout thing in there. Maybe they have to go to work right after, so they need their clothes ready, and they need to make sure they're going to bed on time. I just listed a lot of things that are beyond I work out at 5 a.m., right? There's this huge trail that has to happen. No. If you have played a sport before, you have this, you probably know what I'm going to talk about. You have days where you're like, man, I'm really not feeling it. Now, you can't just stop because you're part of the team and you get kicked off the team if you didn't show up. But what happens is you're like done with school, you go to the locker room, you see your people, you start changing your clothes, you get out to the field, you start warming up, and your body is doing the motions. So your brain is finally like, okay, fine, I'm out here, I might as well give it my shot, give it give it the best I got. And you probably forget that you were even feeling bad in the first place. Now you have a 5 a.m. workout person. What about person B? Person B, I don't know if they wake up early. They maybe wake up just in time for work. They're like, well, maybe I should have worked out. I'll try to work out at lunch. Doesn't happen. I'll work out after work. Doesn't happen. I got to pick the kids up. I don't know what their temperament's going to be. And then it's 7 p.m. and it's like, well, I said I was going to work out. I don't feel like doing that. I even have a gym at home. But why would I do this and when I could just go sit and play video games? So you grab your treats, you play games, and you stay up too late, ruining the chances to work out early in the morning. I have been both of those people. I was staying up late, but I was still trying to work up early. That's not a good combination. Don't stay up late and then wake up early, try to work out. But like I said, I've been both those people, and both people have the same goals. The goals are the easy part. All the breadcrumbs leading up to it is what makes the difference. Okay, like give yourself a fighting chance. You like I said, the 5 a.m. person, they have to do all these things. It's just mechanics, right? And then it's not until the very end that you're actually doing the thing you want to do, but you have to warm your brain up to accept that thing. So what do? We make it as easy as possible. Okay. Enter James Clear. I don't know if I heard this in a video first or his actual audiobook, but the 2-minute rule. And I like to cut it down even further to the 30-second rule, or maybe even just the do this thing rule, right? So the 2-minute rule from James Clear means if you have something new that you want to, like a new habit you want to form, tell yourself, I'm only going to do it for 2 minutes, okay? Because everyone, let's take working out, for example. Everyone thinks, well, an effective workout, what is it? Maybe if I want to go and strength train, that's going to take me like 30 minutes or an hour. Even shorter workouts, like CrossFit style, that could be 10 minutes is a lot if you're doing something hard. But what if we break that down even further and just say, well, I'm just going to do this workout for quote unquote 2 minutes. That may be a warm up, but it's not about the duration of the thing. It's overcoming the hurdle to get there, right? Remember all those 5 a.m. steps? If you just said, well, my workout is 2 minutes, you're not really setting up the 2 minute habit. You're setting up the I'm getting ready to do this 2 minute workout stuff, and then your 2 minute workout happens. So let's come up with this plan here. And I actually broke it down even further. Okay. And as a side note, I play guitar, and I was kind of in a rut with that. And, like I said, you just kind of do all these other habits and you just get out of the habit loop that you were in to get you what you wanted. And with me, with guitar, you could say to get good practice, it would take an hour. Good luck telling your brain that. And you're just like, oh man, I haven't practiced in like 3 weeks and now I have to practice for an hour. And I thought, why don't I just say, just pick your guitar up. There's not even a time requirement. Just pick it up and play, and not even practice the song. Play what you want to play. Just play something, right? Because they're like, oh, I got to pick it up, bring it here, and then you start playing what you want. And you're like, oh, okay, it's not too bad. That was harder than playing itself. So let's break this down. I have 6 steps here. Number 1, and get a piece of paper, okay? Or use your phone. But at some point, you're going to need a physical, I have notes, but a physical thing, because apps are wonderful, but the problem with an app is that it can hide on your phone, especially if you download a new app and it goes all the way back to the back of your apps, or you have to like, how do I organize it? Just use paper, okay? Buy paper off Amazon. If you don't have pens, buy pens off Amazon. But here we go. What you're going to do is take all the steps that lead, let's talk about working out, all the steps that lead you to be able to work out. And you're going to make this huge list of, and it's not going to be perfect, don't worry about it. What has to happen before I work out? As an example for me, I work out in the morning. What do you need when you work out? Right? You can't work out in your PJs, you need your gym clothes. So it may seem trivial, but what I was doing was like, oh, well, I'm going to work out in the morning. And I wouldn't get my clothes until like, I woke up, and then I have to dig in my drawers like a raccoon because it was dark, because I don't want to wake my wife up. I'm not going to turn a lamp on. So I could use my phone light. And then eventually I'm like, why don't I just get my clothes ready and put them somewhere in the house on the path to the gym, to my garage, so I'm not digging. And I'm like, do I have enough shorts? Or, oh no, I need to do laundry. Like, set that out, and that's your habit, right? So it's like, make the steps. And as an examples, let's keep doing morning workouts. It's like, get your clothes ready, have a shake ready. You better have a plan ready, all that stuff. So you're going to list out all those steps, and you're going to think, okay, of like, where am I falling short, right? Gym clothes, that's a good start. Or do I know what I'm doing? Am I writing my workout down? Or do I need a little protein shake, whatever? Pick a step that you're not doing, and that's going to be your habit. So first one is write the steps. 2 is pick one. 3, get a physical calendar and paper. Even if you don't have a calendar on the wall, just get a piece of paper, fold it up, and just literally draw a calendar on there and just write the days. And so every day that you do this thing, you give yourself a little check. And if it's, I lay my clothes out, that's it. If you're getting to the workout step and you're trying to like, okay, I'm doing everything, but I'm not working out, give yourself a time. And that's when you say, I'm going to work out for 2 minutes. Um, Now James Clear, he talks about streaks in here. I don't. He doesn't. He's not too dogmatic about nailing a streak. Neither am I. Streaks are unrealistic. Like if you go on vacation, but it's like how can you do your best to string together as many days as you can, or at least I like to say hit 90% on the month, so you can miss 3 days. um, or if you miss a day, just don't miss the next day. Try not to miss 2 days in a row. And that's why I like the physical calendar, because if it's one habit and you've checked it off like 3 times and then you miss 7 days in a row, and you're like, oh man, and it makes you feel bad. It's supposed to make you feel bad. That's why I said physical calendar, so you can't hide, right? I don't even know what everybody's like. What's a habit tracker app? I'm like, you don't need one. The habit is formed best when you can see it. That's another James Clear thing. Make it obvious. Now that's talking about the habit, but I'm talking about the tracking. Okay, you need to see it. You need to know what you're doing, and if you're not hitting it, you need to feel bad about it, right? And if you're doing it, you need to feel good about it, because it's a reinforcement loop. You want to be like, okay, all I need to do is mark this off and do this one little easy thing. So keep it out there. And step 6, repeat until it's a habit. Now, once you, like the clothes thing, once that's easy, don't just stay there, because now it's automatic. Then it's like, okay, what do I need to, what am I not doing next? Then now that's your new habit. And with with all these little tiny steps, I keep emphasizing lay the clothes out. And maybe you're getting all the way to that stage and you're doing everything else, and it's like, all right, work out for 2 minutes, and literally all you do is make sure you wake up and you sit in your gym for 2 minutes. Why even do that? James Clear had an example of a friend who, I think he lost like 100 pounds, and his rule was he was going to a gym. His rule was all I have to do is go to the gym, literally, for 2 minutes. And that meant he got his clothes ready, he drove there, he went to the gym. I think he just like sat down and changed his shoes for 2 minutes. And after that, I think he said, go home after that, or he allowed himself to go home after that. Pretty simple, right? And I guess for him, if he was that big, just getting in the gym is so daunting for not just him, but it can be for a lot of people. So after that, it was like, okay, now that I'm here, warm up for 2 minutes. Because, and I keep saying all this 2 minute stuff, because your brain's going to be like, I just spent all this time getting into here. Let's do something, right? It's kind of silly to make it this far and not kind of keep going. And then you start. And there's this motivation loop, right? Everyone's like, oh, don't worry about motivation. And I'm like, yes, you should. Because the motivation that comes from you taking the action, right? You have proven to yourself, I can get up early, I can go to the gym. That feels good. I'm like, well, let me do some more. And then that feels good. And even on your worst days, you're like, man, I'm not feeling it. You still have all right, I showed up for 2 minutes. I sat down in the lobby or whatever. That's a win still. Remember, everything else is harder mentally than doing the thing. I've had many a day, right? I train in the morning. I've had many a day where like, man, I am not feeling it. But I guarantee you, every single time I like go, I'm like putting the clothes on, coffee, warming up, and it's just like you don't even have to think anymore. That I don't feel like it thing is not as strong anymore. And when I don't feel like it is the strongest is when you're laying in bed and you pick up your phone and you do literally anything else. Man, people really need to like phone intermittent fast. I'm going to talk about that later because talk about a motivation trainer. And that's it. So that was all the habits. And I didn't spend too much time on this next part, but it's like, all right, what do I do in the gym? The answer, I cannot tell you, is to do whatever you like. Okay. The best way to stick with a habit is to, again, make it as easy as possible. But then, if you know, when it comes to doing the thing, do what you like to do. Remember my guitar example? I I I put pressure on myself to learn new songs and release them. Okay, I don't have my channel linked anywhere, but whatever. But when you have that pressure, that starts creating mental resistance. You're like, man, I haven't figured this out yet. Oh, I have to do that song again. But there are a lot of songs, and this could be called like noodling around. There are a lot of songs that I know that I like to play, so I'm just like, go back to the easy habit of just picking it up and playing what you want. So go to the easy habit of doing whatever workout you want to do. If you want to do yoga, do it. If you want to start running, do it. If you want to do push-ups, do it. If you hate running, don't do it. Okay. Whatever, like, I don't care what your doctor says. Well, you probably should. But as far as workout types, like cardio is best. But no, body weight's best. No, barbell is best. Anything is best. Okay? Anything more than sitting on the couch is a win. Because if you bench pressed, air squatted, and ran a mile, say you benched, I don't know, you're a 200-pound guy and you bench 200 for 8, whatever. You can bench body weight, you can do a ton of pistols, and you can run. Just so you maintain that until you're 70, you're a monster, okay? And if anyone's like, well, that workout's not optimal, I'm just like, man, come on. They're doing more than 99% of 7-year-olds. Like, anything is better than nothing. We'll talk about optimizing your workout, but optimal for what? This is optimal for what you like to do. I got a little heated there, but man, I was in the same camp of like, no, this workout's the best. For most people, it doesn't matter, right? For most people, anything is better than nothing. So that was all the habit stuff. But now, as far as what to do, make it easy and do what you want. Okay. We'll talk about structuring your workout later. So that's it, y'all. That's how you get out of a rut. You start small, okay, but you have to understand you got to set the habits up, and then when you do the thing, make it easy. That's it. So thanks for watching. There will be a newsletter version of this. Subscribe to the channel. I swear I'm still lifting, and I'll record myself lifting again. But right now it's a lot of squat focused, and I'll show you more of that later. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.